Hey YouTube, I hope you're all having a great day today. For this video, I think we're going to jump back into our unique auditorium build. I know it's been maybe a couple of videos now since we've actually done any work there, but I think we're going to pick back up where we left off. I'm going to really try to do some work on the actual backdrop and the sort of the surrounding pillars and the actual behind the scenes area of that stage. So hopefully we can get a lot done here today, but with that being said, let's jump on over to the build. So over here in the build, you will see there's actually a few changes here. And funny enough, if you were one of the lucky few that saw the video that I uploaded kind of, I guess this would be the day before, maybe a day or two before this video going up. But I actually started off and I was thinking to myself, I wanted to do something that was a landscape scene. And that would be sort of the center piece of artwork here that would sit on the stage. And this is what I came up with. I really wasn't too pleased with it. Essentially, I kind of got up from my computer and after I uploaded the video, I think maybe two or three people probably saw it before I took it down just because I knew that this really wasn't the direction that I wanted to go in. I kind of had this idea and thought this would be cool, but what was in my head didn't translate to the screen. So we're actually going to completely do away with this. And I have another idea that I think really I'm actually a little bit more excited about than this idea here. After I went to bed and thought on it, and I woke up and I thought, yeah, that's is definitely going to be the one. But where I'm going to actually take this is we're going to use the same length and width dimensions here. Of course, we'll obviously center this one when we kind of get ready to, fully save it to the actual stage. But I'm actually going to create a complex maze. And I like the idea that, you're watching something on the stage. Again, this is a unique auditorium. So, whoever is presenting on stage needs to be more entertaining than all of the crazy effects going on around the stage. That's the whole purpose, I think, in my mind, of this build. You're obviously have an area where you could maybe go in, do a lecture in some kind of a space, in VR space, but you also the surrounding areas on the map are visually stunning. So what we're going to do is we're going to, of course, not use this, and I'm going to kind of frame this up with some starter content. So yeah, let's go ahead and frame this up so we can pretty much get the exact dimensions. It doesn't have to be exact because what I'm going to do, I think, is instead of, just doing another sort of art piece or something like this, I'm going to find a very cool maze online. We're going to import that in as a material, and then I'm going to try to draw the maze with starter content. So it'll actually have a 3D effect as it's coming off of the actual tile, but we're going to try to draw that on the actual tile with starter content. So once I've gotten that all in, and then maybe we'll actually take the individual starter content and perhaps make the lines on the maze different colors, and so it'll all stand out and have a really nice effect. But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much spot on right there. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of this. And I did save some of the trees, so maybe this will make a resurgency someplace else in the build, but I definitely don't want that to be the centerpiece here. I kind of thought I was doing, I like, for this, I do like the landscape itself, the ground area and the trees. I thought that came through nicely, but I think the sky and, the layering of this could use a lot more work. But I'm going to go ahead, we'll get this deleted, and I'm going to come back when I have a cool maze idea framed up, and then we'll start to kind of lay the lines down and see what that starts to look like. So quick update, this is what I've come up with. Um, I think this will be, obviously we want to make it three-dimensional, so we're going to put some actual column kind of this, some of the starter content down and actually frame this up, and I think then maybe add some color to it, progressively from left to right. It'll maybe, I don't know, not sure what the scheme will be, but I do like the way this looks. I think the next step here is we're going to delete the frame. And if you're wondering kind of how to get to this point to, essentially what we're doing is tracing an image with starter content. Essentially just find a Google image offline. You want to just drag and drop it, pull it in. It'll actually import as a texture. Once you've imported it as a texture, right click on it and then convert that texture to a material by just creating a material. You can then come in and open this up and change some of the properties around. We're really not doing too much here. There's no need for it, but I suppose if you wanted to, you could do that. And then what you want to do is then I just created from that a material instance. And don't put this on so we come over here to starter content. First glance, you might just kind of take one of these tiles right here and plop it on this. And I'll show you why you don't want to do this because you'll get this effect. See where it kind of repeats. So we don't want that. So what you will want to do is instead of grabbing the actual architecture piece, come up to, or come down to shapes, grab a plane. The plane will expand from the middle, unless you maybe change that. So just kind of be mindful you're lining this from the middle. And then just drag and drop your material instance onto that, and you have one instance of that material. So I'm going to go ahead and start kind of framing this in, putting down all these lines. At least this will go a lot quicker, I think, once it's all said and done than the kind of the art piece that we did have. So I'll come back once we've got this all framed in and we can maybe start putting some color down. Hey, so a quick update. As you can see, I'm about 2/3 of the way done with the maze here, and it's coming along nicely. Obviously, it's a pretty simple thing to do, just a lot of hours. I think I'm about maybe 2 hours in at this point, maybe a little more, a little less, give or take. But I did notice just kind of a couple takeaways, depending on if you're thinking about incorporating this down the road. Obviously, you build the maze, you could maybe even turn this horizontal and put some foliage down, expand it and turn it into like an outside maze you might see at some like Biltmore Estate or, old style property like that, I presume. But um, the maze when you're looking for it, especially if you're just finding an image online, try to find one that's somewhat symmetrical. Like if you pull all of the lines on the x-axis out for a moment, you will see all the way down. There's not really like I mean, maybe a little bit of a variance, but pretty much every line kind of lines up on the exact same, x-axis, and then same thing pretty much on the y. Again, slight change there, but I think most likely this was some kind of a program that generated this because there's definitely other mazes that don't have that level of symmetry between the various X and Y sort of slices as you go up. But yeah, that kind of really helps because you can kind of speed this along just by putting in a piece of starter content, one of the actual pillars here, and then just copying and pasting all the way across, and then you just have to come over here, toggle your blue axis there on the X and kind of, well, bad example, but right here on this one and kind of shorten and lengthen it to cover up the actual, the spot that you're trying to cover. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, go ahead and get the last third put in here. I think what we'll do is come back and then we'll essentially, I think, try to merge all of these together. Maybe I think do a black maze on the white backdrop. That'll look kind of cool. And then, we can obviously docker it up down the road. We could add some additional colors, maybe as another background inside the maze, kind of give it more of a trippier effect. But yeah, I'll see you back when I'm done. So here we are. Got that last little corner. I can say I'm very glad to be wrapping this piece of this up. This took a lot more time than what I kind of thought it would, but I think it looks pretty good, so not really complaining. We'll need to obviously touch up a few spaces here and there, I think, but ultimately this came together quite well. But, yeah, I think for the most part, as we scan through, there's some spots. It doesn't fully line up to the actual picture of the maze, but I try to get it close enough. We'll try to get we'll kind of pick one piece that's like over here and match all of them when we select them all. But let's go ahead and get these last few done, and then we can put this behind us. I think this in total was probably about maybe close to 3 hours. I probably could have made things go a little bit quicker here and there, depending on how I went about this. And but after a certain amount of time, this is kind of like maybe putting information in an Excel spreadsheet. Just can't keep on doing it. Yeah, we are so close to being done. Last piece. Wow, look at that. Go ahead and take this one, pull this up to here. Whew. I think that put us right at 1,021 pillars to do the whole thing. So 4 by 14. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save real quick. Don't want to lose this. And then we're done with this down here, so we can delete that. And then let's click that one, the last one. Let's scroll all the way up. Oh wow, we're only in the 700s. Maybe it didn't. It's interesting. It kind of starts at 500 there, so maybe not exactly that many, but That looks to be like all of them. Now that I look at this, I know I was just thinking about making this a dark color, but imagine if we actually put a light. This was like one big board lit up that was illuminated on the backdrop of this stage. That'd be kind of cool. Tons of cool ideas. But let's merge these together. Merge actors. Don't want to replace the source actors. Sure. Maze. There we go. Fully have our maze. That is really cool. Let's try to line that up. Something like maybe that right there. And then I'm going to try to give it a, we'll just make it black for now. So yeah, that's really neat. That comes together quite well, I think. Hmm. So I think this is good for now. But one of the things I want to do, now that I think about this, I was going to merge the, or not merge, I was going to align the green direction, but oh well, it's pretty even. Actually, I think I will do that. Let me, yeah. Do I want to do that? Yes, I do. I'll be right back once I've done that. Sorry about that. So I thought I was going to have to reload the whole file and start over, but I just Control Z'd, and thankfully that actually takes you back to before you merged everything. As you can see, I have them individually again. So what I want to do is actually take, because the green arrow is what controls the, I guess, the smoothness across the board, them all being kind of on that same plane. So we're just going to copy this one here, and then we're going to take from there, scroll all the way down to here. And yep, they are all the same green. That's good. Great. Now we'll merge these. Whoops, I didn't shift click. Come on now. There we go. Tools, merge actors, merge actors. We'll call this maze 1. Okay, there we go. So now when you look across, that should have them all at least smoothed out there. Maybe not necessarily on all planes. I mean, that's fine. Like, I wasn't really, I'm not too concerned with that right there. Adds a little bit of personality to it, which is cool. Um, so now let's paint this. There we go. Perfect. And then let's realign that. Just kind of eyeball it. Something right about there. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Then maybe we'll even embed this a little bit more into the wall. That's kind of interesting. Comes out on both sides. I want that. Yeah, that's perfect. Now, I want to get at least one of these columns fixed and at least kind of get an idea of what I want to do. And I know I want to use these guys right here. This came with that classroom pack. Some soundproof foam or whatever we call this here, but I want to use this pattern. I don't want to just randomly do it. So I think what we're going to start with is we'll take these off. This at least was kind of a good blueprint for what we wanted to do. And I know that I'm going to kind of do the same effect where I'm going to layer these three pieces just at varying sizes across this whole thing. But I think to start, what we need to do is build a frame. So let's go back, keep working with our starter content. Take a pillar. Let's take that pillar over here. Say right about there. Let's go ahead and extend that all the way up. Just like that's perfect. Doesn't have to be exact. We're not really going to keep this here. Doesn't need to be that tall though. And then because I want to use this whole face, so let's offset this. So right about here. So that's, pull this forward a little bit, yeah, to about there. That's pretty good. Yep. And then let's go ahead and duplicate, pull this down to 90. Okay, that doesn't need to be that long. Something just like that. Pull this over to here. I know these walls overlap, so we'll do our best here, but I think we'll cover it so it's not so bad, but yep. And just like that. Grab a new one and we'll just put this in here. go. Um, I think we'll take it to the wall. Right about there. That's good. Then okay. So that's that side, that, then we'll come down here. Okay. So there's our frame. Let's merge all of these together. That's everything. Merge actors. L frame. Pull this out here someplace. And get rid of that for now. We don't need that. Now, I'm going to kind of fill this up like a Tetris board. I think I want to go for almost like a static breathing effect. Like these things are coming out at different levels, almost like it's coming out of off the page or coming out of the screen. So let's put a background or a backdrop so we know how far we can go. We don't want when we merge all this, we don't want these to bleed through. So hold on, let me just double check something real quick. See if all of these are pretty good. So if we go about halfway, that should protect me. Okay. So architecture, let's take no, we need a plane. Shapes, shape plane. '90 degrees. I can't remember. Does this expand from? Yeah, I think it does. Yep. Something like that. Let's come up. we go. Let's duplicate that. Actually, that needs to be the other way. Okay, that should be good enough. So now that we've got our frame, let's just kind of go crazy. I'm going to make these a little bit larger. Not sure really how this is going to turn out. This might look ridiculous, but we'll see. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna play some Tetris over here, crack on with this. This is either gonna look really cool or really dumb, but I will return after I've got at least one of these done and we will put it over there on the actual column and see how it looks. Thank you. So this is what I came up with. Don't necessarily love it, don't hate it. I think I'll still keep layering this and just trying to come up with some kind of a pattern here, some effect. Again, I want this to look less like a classroom and more like a set at a dubstep festival or some electronic music festival where the stage is very well uh, maintained or almost curated for the event. I find this kind of cool effect where if you sort of overlay these like this, it does that right there, kind of that middle bit in the middle. So I might kind of use that a bit more, but um, I'll just kind of keep playing around with it. That's not so bad. I mean, it's interesting for what it is when you kind of start to lay them out more and more. But yeah, I think I'll end the video there. Got the backdrop done. Started probably, I might even bring in some other packs here to put some other stuff on the stage and kind of start to fill that out. Maybe some more chairs. I don't know, something like that. And then of course we'll need to do what we've done over here on the other side. And I don't think I can really flip those around with how these are made, so I'll probably have to do them each individually and kind of unique. And maybe I'll bring in some other shapes and from like the starter content. But yeah, hope you liked it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you have any other ideas you'd like to see, I think on the next one I might try to get the backdrop of the stage done, or at least really start to work on that kind of off video. We got to finish the stairs and frame a lot of that in, and then really at the last piece up at the top. I mean, of course, I want to put some, just like tables and chairs and like a locker or for people, I imagine someone using that area back there. But I do want to build a pretty kind of like nice catwalk up here once you get to the very top level, and with lights and the whole mechanical rig system. So yeah, maybe try to do a lot of that on the next time we revisit this build. But hope you enjoy it, and we'll look forward to the next one. Thank you.